Hi, my name's Jamie Turner. I'm the founder of 60secondmarketer.com, and we are on air with Jamie Turner. I've got my good friend and very, very wonderful person here, Michelle Scruggs, who's a senior account manager at Google. Thanks for joining us, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Tell us a little bit about what you do at Google.
Okay, I am a senior account manager at Google, and I work in the financial services vertical, which means that I work with a lot of our larger financial services clients. We work very closely with our advertisers to come up with campaigns, both search, display, video is very important right now, but we work with them to come up with all kinds of digital marketing campaigns that will help them to promote and expand their businesses.
Okay, I'm going to start with a very, very basic question. Most of the people are going to know the answer to this, but why not start with the foundations? Walk us through, just briefly, the difference between organic search and paid search.
Absolutely. Okay, organic search is the natural listings that come up on the search results page when you go in and do a search. So for example, if you search on shoes, if you look, there's going to actually kind of be two sections that you'll see. The top part is paid, the bottom is organic. Organic is not at all influenced by any of our sales reps, it's not influenced by our advertisers. It is our Google algorithm going in and looking to see what is the best match for that particular user.
Gotcha.
The paid side is where you really can have a lot of control. Any business can have control over what they have displaying for their campaigns. And this is where you'll see the top section of the search results page and also down the right-hand side. Those are where you'll see paid search results.
Okay, and then people pay based on?
So they actually will buy certain keywords, and it's an auction model. So they bid on these keywords, and they're bidding against others within the auction. You only pay 1 penny ahead of what your advertiser would spend as well. So it's very cost effective because you're really working within the competitive market.
Okay, cool. Let's talk a little bit about paid search on the mobile side of the equation. So what are the things somebody watching this right now should think about if they're thinking about getting into paid search on mobile?
So I think a really great resource for someone to visit is a site called themobileplaybook.com. And this was designed actually by Google, and it's an opportunity for any business owner or executive to go in and to really look at what are the questions I should be asking right now to get me ready and to really kind of get me into the mobile space. So how should I be investing in this mobile world? So 5 very critical questions that someone can go through and answer.
Cool, so mobileplaybook.com?
Yes, mobileplaybook.com.
Great.
Really great resource. There's a lot of research, there's a lot of case studies so that people can kind of go in and see what others are doing as well.
So what is one of the things that I think is intriguing about mobile and sort of paid search and things like that is the local aspect. Tell us a little bit about that and how that works.
Yes, local is getting to be huge in search, and for both desktop and mobile, but I'll focus a little bit more on mobile. So if you think about when someone is using their mobile device, it's usually when they're on the go. And if you have a physical retail store or branch of some sort, it is a great opportunity for you to get in front of those people when they're on the go and when they're potentially trying to find you. So we have what is called location extensions, and it allows advertisers to put an extension on their paid search ads that will allow people to easily find where they're located as well as find directions on how to get there.
Okay, cool. So when you're doing the search on your mobile device and it says click here for directions, that's all built into the system that you guys have?
Correct, yes.
Okay,
and
great.
then on the organic side, there are also things that you can do for local. We have Google Places, and that is free for any advertiser to use, and it feeds into our organic results as well.
Excellent. That sounds great. Walk us through, just as a final question, what are some of the bigger mistakes to avoid? What are the things if you're going to work with Google on either a mobile paid search campaign or a desktop paid search campaign? What do you kind of coach people on to avoid doing that are the mistakes?
So I think one of the biggest things to remember is desktop and mobile are different. So people are using them at different times, they're using them for different reasons. So when you're thinking about your goals for your desktop versus your mobile campaigns, they could be different. So for example, if you have an online store, your desktop campaigns may be measured on sales and return on investment. If you also have a physical retail location, you may have a mobile campaign that isn't so much focused on online sales, but focused on making sure that people are finding your location. Or if you have a mobile app, maybe the goal of your campaign is to download a mobile app, which you could do directly off of your mobile ads. So you really need to look at when are consumers using their mobile devices to find and interact with your brand, and how should you create your campaigns around those needs.
Okay, that makes complete sense. Let me ask a final question. One of the things that I think a lot of people think about is the expense of getting into this, that, or the other thing. And one of the great things about Google is it's not cost prohibitive. You can get in for a very small amount of money. What is the bottom part of that equation? What's the minimum you can sort of enter into? Let's say you're a local restaurant or coffee shop and you're saying, I want to use Google as a paid search vehicle for me. What's the starting point for that?
Well, I think that you really kind of touched on one of our kind of unique benefits, and that is, unlike a lot of advertising channels, we have no minimums. So you could start off with $50 if you wanted to just kind of test in slowly. It's really kind of, you pay as what is comfortable for the business. And we know we have great tracking mechanisms, so you can see what your results are very quickly, and you can determine how much you want to invest in the channel. But we do have no minimums, and again, with our bidding model, our auction model, you can really determine what you're willing to pay to get these customers.
So I do have one last question, because what you're saying is interesting. I'm a small business, let's say. I want to test my way into using Google as a way to drive, let's say you're a coffee shop or a restaurant, to drive foot traffic to my location. How would I see that it's working? What kinds of mechanisms would I have in place to make sure that this person walking through the door is showing up because of the paid search campaign?
So that is always kind of the difficulty. How do you measure something that is happening online to the offline world? And there are actually some ways that you can do it. So we have, for example, Google Offers. So you might have a coupon that someone can get online and bring into your physical store, and you can kind of measure that. Then, obviously, I think a lot of people from kind of the traditional methods of how you measure that online to offline is you look at the lift in your sales during a campaign. So you can also run a test where you isolate a period of time where you do your advertising campaign and you look to see what type of an impact that had on your offline sales.
Perfect. So two things. One is look for a lift and compare it to when you weren't running the campaign. And if you saw a lift in sales, you can make some assumptions that's probably driven or possibly driven through the paid search campaign. The other, which is interesting, is somebody clicks on a paid search ad on their mobile device, it drives through to a landing page that says use this discount code.
Yep.
They show up, they use the discount code, you were only using that discount code for the Google campaign, and then you can track that sale directly tied to things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. My name's Jamie Turner. This was On Air with Jamie Turner. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.